Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel and part 4 of the Admiral 5 AW radio. The alignment. Let's do the alignment. Before we go any further with the cabinet or anything, let's kick it off straight away with the alignment. Okay, let's plug her in and we'll turn him on. So we're starting from scratch here. Now what I've done, I've got that speaker over there connected to the output of the audio transformer. I've just unsoldered the wires from the speaker because I want the audio going there, so I can turn the damn thing off when we're testing. And up here, where is it? There. You can see the meter. Okay, so that's what we're peaking with. It's not a real good picture. It's just where the meter is and a stupid little webcam that I really don't like. But anyway, it does the job. Now, I have the generator over here on the left-hand side set at 455 at 100 microvolts. Okay, kilohertz tone going in, the tone we all hate. Okay. Have we got any audio? And yes, we do.
I'm using the new Glen Airy vaccine. It
There you
combines
go.
my Glen Back B12 with my erysipelas arthritis protection in this shot.
Okay. So I'll put that on for the moment. Okay, to start up, step 1. The stator of the tuning condenser. That's where we go into the aerial input from our generator. Okay, so I'll go a ground clip here. If I can. Oh, gee, they're terrible. They're terrible clips on these leads. These are new leads out of a Rygold Crow, and yeah, not real good. Anyway, we go on to the tuning there. That's the where our little trimmer cap is. We're going to the same point. Set our SIGGEN at 455. That's done. The gang fully open. Okay, so let's go up. I'm just following exactly what it says. We're going to have to rearrange this. Okay, there we go. Fully open. And I'll clip that fella back in. I'll come in from the back. That's better. Okay. Look, we can hear 455 already. Okay, gang fully open. Now, it says adjustments A, B, C, and D in this order for maximum. Okay, what's A, B, C, and D? That's our IF trannies, isn't it? So we go back to here. So we're starting at the detector end and we go A, B, C, and D. So A is up top here, up this end, that one there, and B is underneath. C is the top of IFT1 or T1, and and D is the one underneath. Okay, so we're starting at this one. Now, we're going to get some signal happening here. That's obviously not enough signal. And we get our meter up. I'm going to go to dummy load because we don't want to be listening to that. Okay, there we go. That's enough meter movement there for the moment. Let's go in the top of this fella. These are fairly big slugs, these ones, so I'm using a fairly big alignment tool. Okay, let's see what we can And I think we're pretty well peaked. Okay. Pretty well peaked at that one. Okay, so he probably hasn't been altered. Let's tip him up. And can I get in here? No, I can't. I'm going to have to go in the bottom there with an ordinary screwdriver. Just a moment, I'll grab a screwdriver because there's just not enough room for that. I don't think the screwdriver will affect the tuning here. Hope not. Okay, lift him up, and where are we? In here. So let's see, can we get any more out of this fella? And yes, we can. That there is our peak. We'll go back to the top. I'll see. Is the screwdriver doesn't make any difference. Okay. That's good. Now, we'll back off our signal a bit. Put him back to about there. Now, we'll go in the top of IFT1. Let's see, when can we get him any better? Oh, yeah. And there's our peak right there. We'll just take our signal back a bit. And that's it. Okay, underneath the first transformer. And I think we've come off. Wondering where my signal disappeared to. I'll go. I should have had a jump lead on this. We'll go back there. I'll tip him up again and see what we can do with him. Oh, yes. And there he is. That's pretty good. We'll go back to the top again. Pretty well got him. We'll go over here to the first one again, just to make sure. That's it, guys. That's done. That's the IF done. How simple is that? Great stuff. Alrighty. So, well, turn him back down for the moment. The next alignment. Okay, so we go to the stator of the tuning capacitor at the aerial input, which is there. That's our aerial. So we go to the same point. We go set the SIGGEN on 1700. Gang fully open, okay, which it right there is. And we're going to see how far out the oscillator is. We've got to adjust the oscillator tuner for the gang. Now, I've told you about this little fella here. Let's see how close it is. I really don't want to muck around with this too much. So we will go to frequency 1.7 megahertz and level. And have we got any sort of signal there? Yes, we have. But how far out is he? Oh, he's pretty close. That's coming up there. Mind you, we're at 1,000 microvolts there at the moment. It could go a little bit more. But we don't know whether to. Yeah, guys, I'm going to go 1650 and see, is it on the end? 1.65 meg and level. And where is he? He is right there. I'm going to call that close enough. It's very close to the end. That's at 1650. It says 1700. But yeah, no, we're okay. Let's call that close enough. I really don't want to muck around with the length of the wire. If it was a long way out, I would. That's very close. Okay. Now, so that's the oscillator top end. Not much to do on this little radio. Okay, the signal lead close to the aerial rod. Okay, how's that? Is that close? That looks pretty close. 1400. Okay, and tune the generator in. Okay, so let's go to frequency 1.4 megahertz, which is 1400 kilohertz. We then go down, find the station, and we trim our aerial tuner on the gang for maximum output. That's this little white fella that we rebuilt. Okay, so we'll go down, find out where this fella is. I might put the speaker on at the moment for this. There he is. Okay, I'll turn the speaker off so that we don't have to listen to it. And now we're going to tune this little fella for maximum. And that's about him there. I'll just make sure my hand's out of the road there. That's not interfering with the signal. Now I've lost him. Go for the peak. Gee, can't do it that way around. That's him, guys. That's close enough for me anyway. And that's it. We did A and C underneath with the IF transformers underneath the chassis. That's all there is to the tuning. So for the newbies, what we adjusted, that slug, this slug, that was underneath, this one on top, that one underneath, and then our oscillator, we actually didn't alter our C12, our trim, and our aerial, which is there straight in from the rod antenna to pin 7 of the 6BE6. C13, that was the one we just adjusted then. There's your tuning gang. Okay, so that's it, guys. Now, I've got to work out this assembly here, but yeah, I'll experiment with that and come back and let you know. That's it. That's all there is to the alignment. And boy, that's a bit loud. Now, if I can get that away, turn our generator off. We don't need that. And
3.4, oh, 3.5, sorry.
and
$1 billion procurement of 75 newer.
So, guys, that's it. I'll reconnect the speaker up. We've got to do a little bit of cleaning on the speaker before he goes in. I'll do some cleaning on the cabinet, which was mentioned in the last video. And then we will put this back in the cabinet. And when it's in the cabinet, I'm going to experiment with an outside loop on this. But really, this radio is going to an area that the guy that owns it, which is very close to the station we're listening to there, 2EL in Orange itself. It's south of Orange, but he also listens to 2CR. So yeah, there you go. I don't think we'll have to do too much with it, an outside aerial. What I want to do also is let's go to the bottom end of the band just to check this and go to, what have we got? 500 kilohertz. And we'll just check to see if we can make the signal any better by moving the coil on the antenna. Okay, so we'll go to frequency 5. No, we'll do 600. I'll just sit that there. We'll take him up to a few millivolts and find 600.
To the hill state.
Yes, it is. So, okay, it is making quite a difference. How do we adjust that without touching it? Because I want to get that in a position now. Adjusting that rod, you can hear the difference there. I'm just going to get a little bit of tape and put on there when we get to the exact position where we've got maximum signal. Now, let's give ourselves.
So people hear it out there that
What we need here is a little bit of wire on the end of our probe there so that we can, get a little bit better signal in there. Okay, guys, now what I've done here, just turn him down for the moment, I've put a bit of wire, just a jumper lead, on the end of our generator lead, a couple of loops around the rod on the end, the other grounded, and we're going to adjust this for maximum signal on the meter. Okay, now that's set at 600 kilohertz. That's where we're going to. So we'll do the 600, and I'll get a little bit of tape so that I can hold this in the correct position for maximum output. Okay, and we'll also be turning the speaker onto dummy load so that we all don't have to put up with that noise. Okay, so I've got a little bit of tape here ready for this. We don't need to hear that. We'll turn him up, get him half scale or thereabouts on the meter. And if we alter this, hey, look at that. Okay, we'll take our signal back down a bit. Back down to about there. And as you can see, a lot of difference on the rod there. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's lock that in for the moment. And as you can see, it alters when yeah, we're going to have to do this without me touching it. Can we do this? We're going to have to find the point where it's best. Right there. Put our tape on. And that's pretty good. Okay, looks a bit messy here, but that's giving us the highest signal. Okay, we'll go back in microvolts. We'll keep our volume up pretty well. That's going down now to, yeah, boy, that's 6 microvolts. Actually, that's right on the noise floor. So let's have a listen. And that's amazing. Okay. I think that's, if I should find the ABC down here.
Last year as part of Sydney World Pride. Writing it for many years. It was a film that I started writing when I was living in India. But yeah.
And this radio is performing extremely well. Extremely. And we go back up here, guys. And a lot of interference there.
In this bulletin, the death of a British singer rocks his fans, and the A-League season to get underway. I am Diane Coates.
There she is, all going. Okay, let's do the other bits and pieces and get this thing in the case. Okay, well, the speaker's not in bad order. A little bit of rubbish around there. I'm using some of that, some methylated spirits to just clean it up with some makeup pads. Just go over it, clean it up. And when I'm finished, a little bit of a hole there, as we saw when we first opened the radio. I'll just try and push him back in from the back there, and we'll put a bit of liquid insulation tape just across there, so that it just seals that one little break. There's also a slight one just there. You can just see him. So we'll put a little bit there, a little bit there, and that's the speaker done. And then we'll get back onto the case. And we're onto the front panel. Now there's a couple of little spots here. Little spot there. There's a little blemish up along there. Couple of that, pretty hard to see, but you can see the little spot there. Another one there. We're going to keep going with a bit of brasso at the moment, more polish, and yeah, just keep going with this. I would like a little bit better than what it is, especially noticeable, say, with that one there, and it's just a mark on the on the outside of the glass. Don't quite know what it is, but anyway, we'll keep scrubbing away with that. And then I'd like these in gold. I do have a gold pen here, so we're going to do the Admiral in gold. This little fella come up pretty nice. He's quite okay. I haven't polished him yet, but yeah, it's not bad. There's also these little spots like there as well. It's almost as though it's been splashed with some sort of like acetone or something like that, and it's sort of eaten into the front of it a little bit. But there's not much more we can do with that from a distance. That's going to look pretty good. We'll get on with polishing this. And of course, makeup pads. Why not? Right, guys, there's still a little mark there. We got rid of the blemishes, but a little one there. Too deep in the plastic to worry about. There's a slight one there, but really, you're not going to notice it, and that's pretty good. That's clear. That little fella, we give him a polish, and now it's time to do the redo the Admiral sign. So I'll dig out my gold pen, and we'll go over that fella. And that's got the Admiral standing out. Look at that. Beautiful. So that's a fairly good looking face, actually. So that's done. I did that with one of those. If you're interested in what I used for touching up gold and silver, I've got a gold one and a chrome one. So there you go. It's an Artline product. Absolutely brilliant. It's a 2.3mm tip, and yeah, just works just so well. Just so well on something like that. Okay, next bit. The dial has been done. It's as good as it's going to be. Got to get a little bit of silver there, I think. Not sure what to do with that. Yeah, I'll just have a look at that anyway. But the backing plate, well, as you saw before, it's got some rubbish on it. Not quite the same. Not quite the same gold. But we're going to actually, that looks brown, doesn't it, in the camera? That's actually gold. And this one, yeah, well, it almost looks silver, but it's very gold. So just going to cut one out the same and put his hole in him. And that's our backing for the dial. Okay, this bit in here is good. The top. Now we've done. You probably saw on one of the previous videos. I've been doing a bit with wet and dry 1500. Might have to go back to 1200 actually, because we've still got a mark here where something sat, and a little one. You can see him there, just there, about as big as a 10-cent piece. This looks like a coffee cup or something like that, but it's sort of eaten into it a bit. I don't know how far to go with this because that's still a little bit deep. We'll go a little bit more with our sanding, and then we'll start polishing the top. The sides are quite good, and of course underneath is very good. We've got to cut out just a little circuit diagram, and put him on there. Otherwise, yeah, all the bottom just needs a clean up and all that'll be fine. Okay, I'll keep rubbing this. We've sealed the crack up there with super glue, but there's still a little ridge there, which I'd like to get rid of. But anyway, there's probably not much we can do, much more we can do with that. But this, oh, I'd like to try and just get it a little bit better than what it is. Okay, we'll get on with it. Well, that's about the best I can get it. Not bad, I suppose. She's pretty good to how she came in. We've still got the circle of death there. We've still got the crack. You can still see it. You cannot feel that. If I take that any deeper, it's just going to, yeah, it's going to cause problems. So there's still a little one there. Sorry about the light. Turn it around, you might be able to see it. It's probably made it worse. There it is. You can see just the little circle there. And of course, this one. But as I said, you can't feel it. Okay. Now, as I said, this model comes with a clock. Now, let's have a look at the model with the clock, and I'll tell you a little bit about this radio before we finish it up and go any further. There's quite a few guys that have asked questions about models, where it came from, what year. So let's delve into it a little bit and learn a little bit more about it while I put this this thing together. This there's a blanking plate, which well, I'd hardly call it a plate. It's a bit of thick cardboard. It goes on there. That covers the clock. That was their idea of covering it. I'm just going to put some little smears of Celastic. Reason being, I don't want to put glue on there in case this ever has to come apart again, but just 4 dabs of Celastic, maybe a couple of little pieces, and just sitting back on there. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll look into the dial. What's going to happen here with the front cover? I nearly think the chassis got to go next. Okay, it's time to get things inside this box. First of all, speaker. As you saw, we've done little bits of repairs on it. I've also put a little bit of Celastic. Now, that's not the nicest of jobs, but I don't want someone touching that and getting zapped. As we saw, 280 volts sits on there because that's your primary winding. So, yeah, I just put it so you can't touch it. Looks a bit ordinary, should have been black. This is what I had, and well, I'm trying to get this radio finished and back to his owner. Now, the speaker first. Okay, he goes in upside down, like so. So we'll put him in. Speaker's in. All looking okay. This panel here that blanks the clock hole there, has got a couple of little bits of Celastic just underneath it. Oh, by the way, the Celastic that's on there is neutral cure, so we don't have corrosion underneath where it's been put, because I have also put a dab of it there, and just across the top of the switch pot. This just saves someone touching that and getting zapped. It's 240. I didn't want to leave it like that. I wanted some sort of cover on it, but always use neutral cure, because if you don't, corrosion will see the acidity. Yeah, okay. The acidity of the normal Celastic will start eating away underneath and cause corrosion. So neutral cure Celastic, you can, yeah, it's fine to use. Okay, now it's time to put this bit in that bit. Now, guys, with this one, just before I put it in, you're probably wondering, where's the Bluetooth? Are we going to convert this to Bluetooth? Well, no, we're not, because the owner has decided that he doesn't want Bluetooth in this. He just wants it left original. So you're going to have to wait until maybe the next video on a radio for a Bluetooth conversion. I have a very nice radio that I'd like to convert to Bluetooth. And yes, I know it's not original, but minimal, yeah. So with the owner not wanting me to put Bluetooth in this, well, I'm sorry, guys, I won't show you how to do this one, but there'll be more in the future. Lots more, I'd say, because this is becoming a very sought-after modification. Okay, and the thing we've got to work out is what you need. I'll just run you by this, is an isolated power supply. You can't use the same ground as the radio on your supply to the Bluetooth module. You get hum and all sorts of feedback problems. It just doesn't work. So unfortunately, you've got to come up with a way of some tricks with the transformer, or putting in another transformer and little power supply inside here, preferably a non-switching type. Okay, we'll come to that later on anyway. Right, here we go. Let's get her in and get the front on it. Okay. Oh dear, guys. Can you see the problem here? I never realised this. That one, where the bloody power cord goes through. Oh, okay. I've got to disconnect the power cord, put it through the back before we can put the back on. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, well, we've got the power cord back in there. Yeah, that took a little bit of time. Now, the speaker transformer. We've got to connect him up. So if I can get my big hand in there, probably not. Probably use a pair of pliers would be a lot handier idea. I don't know what you can see there. I'm not watching the monitor. Okay, like that. Right. That's our speaker hooked up. Everything else is hooked up. Nothing's been changed. So now it's time for the back. And a little bit of grotty dirt here I've missed. We'll do that. We'll come back. There we go, guys. I never thought this day would come. It's time for a couple of knobs. There she is, the Admiral 5 AW Mantle radio. Looking pretty good. I do have the lights turned slightly off. Reason being, oh yeah. Yeah. Well, let's turn the other light off. The dial light, beautiful. And what have we got here?
So I can put it beside my bed so I wouldn't forget this morning. I want to thank you again, John.
All right, darling. All right. You're very sweet, Joanne. Don't hang up, will you?
And there's Mr. Laws. And gee, this come up nice. I'm very happy with this, guys. I can turn the lights back on now that you've seen the effect of the dial lamp there. And of course you can see it in the back there. Very nice. I'm sure the owner will be very proud of this little fella. And I'll tell you what, it works so well. And we've got lots of interference there. Turn that off.
You're a very kind fellow, Graham. You're
And
very kind and very generous with your comments. I hope they're right.
John, my only regret in life is
and of course interference in
able
here
to speak to you.
and a rod antenna, so I'm going to have to put him around that way
Leave it another 30
to get good reception there. But maybe we've got 2CR down here.
And he opened the coat, and in the pocket of his coat was this tiny dog. And he said, "Ma'am, would you like to buy my dog?" And I said, "Well, no. Actually, I'm going to dinner.
And
Thank you, but no, I don't want to buy your dog."
let's see, can we get rid of more noise?
What's going to happen to that dog? And so I went
Yep.
back. And I said, "Vicky, come on,
It's
we're
the
going to
other
go back."
light.
I said, what's the story with your dog? And the guy said, "Well, look, I'm going to plead guilty to," he said, "what?"
Oh, yes.
And you don't get much else in here. Some other rubbish.
Now, I've got a smile on my face because I got out of bed on the worst of the worst days. I had the professor.
Okay, guys, there she is, the Admiral. What a great little radio. What a pleasure to have rebuilt this. And gee, yeah, we've still got a couple of little marks there, but that's come up pretty nice. Very impressed with that. Okay, there you go, all done. Another one down, and looking forward to the next one. The next one, not so complicated as this one, or not so involved, let's say. It'll be an interesting video, and it'll be up very, very soon. Okay, if you like it, give us a thumbs up on it. Comment, please. I love all your comments, and yeah, would love to hear what you think of this. Have you ever had anything to do with the model with the clock in it? So forth. Yeah. Anyway, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when that next video of mine goes up, which will be a very, very different one. Okay, until then, bye for now. Well, guys, here's a few details for you. Now, this little radio, the 5AW, also come out as a clock radio. Now, well, let's have a look at what he looked like up on the screen there now. And yeah, that was a pretty nice looking piece of gear. And then there was this one, and these radios were made in Australia, in Bankstown, Admiral of Australia Proprietary Limited, in 1955. Okay, so it was Gow Street in Bankstown they were made. They also made TVs, refrigerators, and air conditioners, believe it or not. So in 1959, the company experimented with the specially made television for use by airline passengers on the Trans-Australian Airline, or TAA. There you go. So they actually made televisions for TAA. Yeah. So this radio, as I said, 1955, it was sold. It cost £21, £21 sixpence, apparently. That was a fair bit of cash, wasn't it? In 1956, that is a lot of cash. Let's have a look at a brochure on it. There you go. And of course, Admiral TV. It says it was years ahead. There now. Okay, so the little radio in the centre down the bottom there is the one with the Admiral with the clock radio. It said it was an amazing 4-valve radio that doubles as a unique electric clock. And yeah, that was with an alarm, with a buzz alarm. Now, that was a really big thing in those days, I guess. But just looking at the televisions and all that, wow, there's a lot of stuff there that's, yeah, back in the day. So there we go, Admiral Radio. He was made by a little factory in Bankstown, New South Wales, Australia. Okay, well, that's all the information I've dug up on it. If you want to know more about Admiral in general and what happened to them, radiomuseum.com. It's where we get lots and lots of information. And gee, they've got a good coverage of just about every radio that you want to mention. radiomuseum.com. And moving on to the next thing here, I wanted to show you a couple of pictures. This one is a little yellow unit. Now, it does have, if you look closely, it does have a loop on the aerial on the rod for an outside antenna. We haven't fitted that at the moment. We're going to see how it goes. We can fit it down the track if the customer wants us to. Now, there's another radio there. Now, this is a little red one. Now, he's not in real good order either, but you can see there's a coil, an aerial coil mounted on the chassis down the bottom as per our circuit diagram. Looks like just a little RF coil, and it also goes up to another loop around the rod antenna. So that explains the two coils that are on the circuit diagram of this radio. I couldn't work out where the two coils were. They're not on this radio. It doesn't look like there's ever been an outside aerial attached to this radio. Maybe these were an option. This one with the two coils also is a clock radio. It has the clock there built in. Okay, so what else can I tell you about it? There's not much more info there, I don't think. We'll have a look at the circuit diagram. And as you can see on the left-hand side, L3 and L4. Now, obviously, L3 there is the one that's probably goes to ground. No, the first one, I think the first one, L4, would be the loop on the rod. You can correct me if I'm wrong with this one. And the second one is the aerial coil that goes to ground, probably just a tuned coil there. Just looking at the picture of the back of the radio, actually. All right, so there's the circuit for anyone that wants to grab this. I will also be throwing this circuit on my Google Drive and putting a link in the description. Okay, guys, that's the end of your learning lesson for today. There's not much more to learn about this little beauty.